And you tell me when you see it.
I see it.
Yeah, I see it before me. Okay, I think I see it as well.
Hello, everybody. How do you see comments? I have to ask you that because I've been trying to see comments, when I go live, and it doesn't ever work.
I don't. I go live on my computer and then I pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, I still can't.
Oh, really? Let me see. So
yeah.
I don't know if I know because it always takes me like forever to find it. And then okay, so I tap on the actual video and then hi Katrina. And so anyway, I click on the video and then I just watch the comments pop up.
Interesting.
Okay.
It's definitely weird to stream from Zoom. It's not what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's different. I think we do it because we were both on here at the same time. Didn't we determine that was the easiest? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Why we chose that to begin with. But Jewel says, hello, I'm a newbie. Well, hi, welcome. I'm excited you're here with us this evening. We're going to be discussing Ouija boards and psychic tools. While we're waiting for people, I'm going to tell you this funny story, Rena. So we got our Ouija board. When I say we, I mean like when I was younger and my older sister. We got our Ouija board. I think I was 11, 12, and my sister was probably around 14. And it was like day after Christmas and we really wanted one. And so we called Toys R Us to see if they had them in stock. And the lady or girl who answered the phone says, we don't have Ouija boards, but we have an Ouija board. And we were like, okay, we'll be by to pick up our Ouija boards in a couple hours.
So how much did you pay for them when you bought them?
This was, what year was this? Early 91, 90. It was probably around $10, 11.
Nice.
Something like that.
They weren't allowed in my house, period. My mom, no, absolutely not.
Your mom was smart.
Yeah, and not that she didn't already know that I was different and into different things, but she just she didn't trust them, so they weren't allowed. And my husband says the same thing. I do have one. It lives in my garage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the history with that? Is it like
no that's just one I bought as an adult. I think I was probably 24, 25. This is even probably a couple years before I stepped into my spiritual path and really knew better. I think at that age, I was just being a smart ass a little bit, just, what not? Let's just have another one in the house, right?
Why
but
not?
No, that one wasn't like it came back or anything. It might be more that I'm afraid to get rid of it.
You see, that's the thing. I was thinking today when I was like kind of mentally preparing for a show, I was like, whatever happened to our Ouija board? I don't know.
Yeah, this one that lives in my garage has never actually been out of the box. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't have one in this house. I mean, and that's what we'll get into tonight is like how to responsibly use one, or should you? We could get into all that. Like,
well, that's big controversy, isn't it?
That is controversial. And I mean, do we want to start controversy? But personally, I don't feel like I need one.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, at this point, everything's always on anyway, so we don't got to talk through a board.
No, it's more like
a
direct line, like hello. Oh, Cass, my daughter Cass is watching. She is saying hello, and Kate is here.
Hi guys.
At her stories. I know, craziness. So yeah, so That's a good question. When do you need a Ouija board? Do you ever need a Ouija board? Like,
Oof.
why should you not use one? Right? Like, I don't want to be judgmental, but I'm more on the side of just don't get the Ouija board.
Yeah,
see a medium and leave it at that. But
same. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you did any research beforehand, but I didn't even look up the history. Like, was it Milton Bradley?
Mine was a Milton Bradley. Now, and in fact, maybe it's a good time to show this picture. Walmart, which I'm not a big Walmart fan. That's not what I'm getting at, but trying to find a major retailer online that sells them. Walmart sells a Hasbro.
Okay.
Let me get a picture of this going here.
So I'm wondering, with all of the drama behind spirituality that has always been there anyway, why these even came about. You know what I mean? Like, as 8 years and older toy.
Yeah, look at this. Ages 8 and up, 2 to 4 players. Okay, 1 players. This is not a game.
Yeah, I agree with your daughter. No Ouija boards. There's better, more respectful ways of contacting spirits. Ouija is marketed as a game, and that's a game.
Can you tell that's my daughter?
She's smart girl.
That's my Scorpio. Yes, I've taught my kids that, okay, I'm going from memory, and he probably will not appreciate me sharing it, but I'm pretty sure my son Ian, I want to say it was a year or so ago, they decided to go to an old abandoned house that has a history to it around here and play with a Ouija board. And then he wanted to proceed to tell me about how he couldn't sleep at night because there was stuff in his room.
Oh my God.
So guess who had to be a Ghostbuster?
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So, and that's weird because usually I have what am I looking at? Premonitions. Mm-hmm. I'm very in tune with premonitions. So last night I had a dream that and it wasn't my house, but somebody has a spirit and they need help. So if you need help, just get a hold of me. I will help you because I already know about it. I know what it looks like, everything. So yeah.
And you'll keep it away. It won't be just a temporary cleansing. So Rena's good at this stuff. Good point.
Yes.
To make. Oh, Cass is saying he always has stuff around him, I'm sure, because weird things are always happening to him. Objects moving on their own. Yeah, his room. Ian is both my kids, I believe, have abilities. Ian definitely does, but we're working with him on how to not bring things home.
How to be choosier about the energy. Yeah,
exactly. Margie saying you take your chances for Oogie Boogie to show up.
You do. You do. So Max is like your kids too. He's he knows, he sees, he speaks. He's actually the person who helped me step back into and accept all the gifts I had. When he started talking about things, I was like, well, okay, I can talk about my things with somebody now too. So yeah, he's like that too. But he knows how to be respectful with it. And he has things like we have a spirit here, and I've tried to get him to leave. He doesn't want to leave. He's not malicious or anything. But Max tells me that's part of him, like a past life version of him that he sees, and he tucks him in at night. At least he did when he was younger.
Oh, wow.
One night, this is a weird story. So Max was younger. Max is 18 now, but when he was probably 5, 6, he was in the bathtub playing, and he was talking, to somebody, and we weren't sure who the heck he was talking to. So I just kind of went back there and peeked in on him and said, "Hey, is everything okay?" And I looked at the mirror, and it was all fogged up, and was like somebody had been drawing on the mirror, but Max was in the bathtub. It wasn't Max. And he said, "Well, your grandma came to talk to me, and she's drawn me pictures."
Oh my gosh. That is so cool and scary at the same time.
It was. I was like, oh my God, what's happening?
And I just try to play it cool. I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
I love it. I'm just sharing this because I forgot to share my thing.
Oh yes, do share. Do share.
Yeah, so my kids have, Ian has played with a Ouija board apparently, with his friends. We've never had one in the house. We just haven't.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, bear with me just a second. I forgot to share this.
Well, why don't I go read the story? I received one story this week. So I can share that with you guys.
That would be great. Yeah, so we did receive a story about Ouija boards or a story.
Okay, so I'm reading this from the message I got. So it was like 1984 or 1985. KB Toy and Hobby had them for like $15, a Ouija board. My friend and her boyfriend and I all put in $5 and got one. It stayed at all of our houses at different times. But within like a year or so, the boyfriend died in a motorcycle accident and Lisa went into a psych ward. Ooh, oh my God, I got goosebumps.
Oh, that's a lot of activity.
And we were moving to Mobridge, which is a small town in South Dakota. So I guess that would have been the start of school year in August or September of 1986. I ended up with the board, played with it a bunch in high school in Mobridge, and really freaked people out as the new witch girl from the big town with the Ouija board.
Oh, man.
We don't live in a big town, but it's big compared to Mobridge. There's maybe, I don't know, something like 1,000, max 2,000, maybe. I don't know, something like, it's a very small town.
Wow.
It used to find people's keys all the time. And then it went to college with me and was a dorm floor favorite, again, freaking people out with finding missing items. And it also told me I'd marry Tim, which is this person's significant other. That was in Bismarck when we first got it. And only Tim and I knew then was nerdy. Oh, and the only Tim I knew then was a guy named Tim Moritz. And he's now part owner of a business. I shouldn't say the business name. Sorry.
That name.
I'm trying to keep this anonymous, but
You're doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm not doing so good. Sorry about that. He was always snapping my bra and doing gross things around me. Haha. So anyway, in college, it started freaking me out with its accuracy. So I threw it in the dumpster at the end of my first year. Someone brought it back to me and said, "Hey, isn't this yours?" Oh my God, it
found its way back home. Oh,
yeah. Okay, yeah, I guess. Then the next year we used it while we snuck underground and climbed in a lower window below the theater department. There was like 10 of us. The weirdest sounds and winds came up while we were on a dirt floor and we all bailed. Lights flickered on the way out. I left the board. Once again, a theater major who knew me said she found it in one of the theater classrooms and said, "Isn't this yours?" Ooh. Okay, yeah. Then it came to Bismarck with me when I moved back. I bound it and said I would give it a home, but no shenanigans, and it's lived in my cupboard ever since. Yep, it still lives in my game board cupboard, bound and silent.
No way.
Spooky. That was a good one.
That was a good one. Like, you can't make that up.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened to us after playing with one. I'm trying to think. We did live in a pretty haunted house. But I think we moved into that house with it that way. But yeah, nothing like what happened there. That's crazy.
I don't same as you, there was always weird things that happened, and I played with one friend, and she was pretty spooky girl. I don't know what she's like these.
Did you want to give her name?
Maybe I should. Anyway, I just remember like one of the freakiest things was it kept telling me I was going to die early. I mean, I'm turning 40 this year. Little history. I'm a type 1 diabetic, was diagnosed when I was 9 years old. And back in those days, they didn't expect me to live past 36. They told me I'd never have kids. I mean,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that really freaked me out, but nothing totally, not like that story.
I don't even remember what we got, like what kind of information we got from ours. Like apparently, we probably didn't use it too seriously. But that's the thing with Ouija boards. Like that's my theory on why it brings in so much uninviting stuff, because you're just people who are using it who don't know about this stuff just fully open up to whatever. Like just somebody come talk to me. You don't want to just open up to whatever.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Being older and now knowing how to work with energy a little more. There's things we do in our practices, whether it's smudging and saying a little blessing, or like I have a little meditation I do to calm my, ground and protect and do all that stuff. So it's different. It's more focused. Obviously more clear.
For sure.
The home I grew up in, up until God, how old was I? 5, 6, 7-ish, was very haunted. I mean, I thought it was just me, seriously. And I think I've told you this before, but the lights would flicker when I was playing in our toy room. And I mean, there was just spooky stuff in there, crawling all over, apparitions, that kind of thing. Again, I'm a kid, so I thought we lived, with my aunts and uncles, my mom and I thought it was just them playing tricks on me. Learning my dowsing work, we had to go back and douse a childhood home, and that was the one I did. And I couldn't believe at that age, in my 20s, I was getting this information. It blew me away. So I actually got a hold of my aunt and asked her about it, and she was like, oh yeah. So it wasn't just me seeing that stuff.
No, it was actually something, right?
Yeah, Margie, that's a good question. She said,
I'm just reading that. Yeah, that is a good question. If stuff happens to people who even make the games.
Well, and talk about people who do scary movies, right? Usually they'll have supernatural experiences too.
The people from Poltergeist, the actors and actresses, I remember were having a lot of activity while filming that movie.
Well, and how freaking spooky. I mean, the history behind that movie, like, the bones that they were using, they were actually bones from people, because it was so expensive to use like plastic skeletons.
It was cheaper to get real ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And then you had a couple of the actresses die shortly after. Well, one, I think right after they got done filming, and then the little girl died a couple movies later.
Right. Yeah, completely freak accident stuff too. So crazy. Yeah. Really, really weird stuff.
So what other type of like psychic tools do you think are similar, or is there anything else you could mess with that could bring uninvited stuff in? What's your theory on that, Rena?
Well, I think really anything could be used like that, depending on what you know how to do and what you don't know how to do. And not trying to be mean here, but New Age witches, look at all the stuff that they're getting their hands into working with energies, not knowing what they're doing. Again, not trying to be mean, but there are methods of protection and harnessing energies that really come into play anytime you're doing spiritual work, period. I don't know, I like to think that the stuff I use these days are pretty clean. I mean, I do tarot cards, oracle cards. I got my crystal. I use my L rods.
Pendulums.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Any of our viewers, you guys got stories about this stuff? I would love to hear it. But that is interesting. We should have looked up the history of Ouija boards.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that, but that would be interesting to know how they came into play.
Right. So, and just because I know there's a couple people who weren't here last week at the tail end, and I don't know if you were here when I talked about it before, opening portals with things like Ouija boards. It's okay. So I work with energies that exist on the earth and the energetic disturbances that affect our health and our wellness. So, just to give you an example, like EMF is a big factor. Let's say even for cancer, clarity, skin rashes, things like that. A negative vortex will spin vertically. I'm always like vertical, horizontal, vertically counterclockwise. Okay, so a natural negative vortex. Now, what makes a vortex negative is when ley lines cross, and they cross at anything other than a 90-degree angle. So once you have a perfect 90-degree angle, that's a positive vortex.
Oh, okay.
So that's what creates a negative, a natural negative vortex. You get things like Ouija boards, and you can open a portal with them. This is where it all goes wrong. And these portals, negative vortexes, act as informational and spiritual highways for these spirits. So, I mean, they're like, oh my God, there's the elevator, I'm coming through, and again, I don't think a lot of times they mean to be malicious. I think it's more like they cross the barrier and they're like, oh crap, how do I get home? You have to remember, negative vortex is attracting negative energy. That negative energy holds density. Okay, so once it's on the other side, it becomes harder for them to cross with ease.
I see.
This is where your spirits will get a little rambunctious, asking for help on how to cross back over, how to lift that density so they can get back in. So the portals that are opened with a Ouija board, they still spin counterclockwise, but they're going horizontal.
Horizontal.
Yes, the horizon. Instead of vertically, they're moving horizontally. So you'll see them opened up on walls and stuff. It's a trip. I mean,
your job is fascinating because you go in, well, you assist people on how to work with these vortexes within their home, right?
Yeah.
That's how you've helped with my house. And
yeah. So a negative vortex, I would actually close it up. And depending on what the surrounding environment energy is, we can shift it into a positive vortex. Sometimes, okay, so we're talking like these really dense areas. If it's really, really, really dense and people live there or spend a lot of time there, it's probably just better to close it versus turn it into a positive vortex, because sometimes that shift can be too much for people. You can come back at a later time and create a positive vortex in that area, but you have to allow time for it to shift.
So how often when you're like doing the dowsing, and you do this remotely, by the way, so I want people to know that, because like Rena's done my houses here in Austin and surrounding areas. But how often do you find homes have negative or positive vortex? Do they usually have one or the other or both? Are there any boring houses that don't have
There are a ton of chill houses. There are. It's kind of, it goes in thirds. Sometimes you're going to see positive and negative vortexes. Sometimes you're just going to see the positive. Sometimes you'll see a negative. Sometimes you'll see none. So it just really depends. I will tell you, negative vortexes bring about dramatic shifts in personality. And because ley lines are always moving, these can pop up. So let's say it's me or you, and our kids just completely shift their entire demeanor, who they are. I mean, I know people change and like to explore different avenues in their life, but I'm talking like somebody who's got a sunshiny personality or pretty normal sunshiny, it goes completely to the other side.
Right.
That's the telltale sign of a negative vortex. It just sucks you into deep depression. Addiction is real common with negative vortexes. They don't build bars on positive vortexes, guys. I'm going to say that right now.
Really? So it's attracting.
Yes.
The business or whoever is attracted to putting it somewhere where there's negative vortexes.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I love this stuff.
I know my last home I lived in before we moved here, we rented the house. And you had done the dowsing, and I think you found like 5 negative vortexes. It was a 2-story home. I don't know if that makes a difference, but anyway, I know there were some upstairs, there were some downstairs, and it had been built. It was a nice neighborhood. Don't get me wrong, but it had been built on an old landfill.
Yes. Right. Again, trash density.
Yep.
Stuff you throw out. It's interesting. I just did a dowsing on somebody, I live in North Dakota and she is from Quebec. And she moved houses, so I had to do a clearing, but it was so interesting to me. I was like, you need to put this cure. It's about 3/4 up the way. And I'm like, you're going to see an electrical outlet. And she's like, oh my God, you're not even in my house. How do you know it's here? I love that stuff.
Remote viewing.
Yes. Magic. I don't know.
Yes. That is awesome. Cass, you're sharing your story about Steve Jobs. So my daughter loves Apple computers, Apple products, technology. And she was talking about, she was obsessed with Steve Jobs a few years ago. Like she dressed up as him for Halloween and just loved the man. And she kept finding pennies when she thought about him. Let's see what she was saying. And she said, when she looked at a picture, okay, she said, I kept finding pennies when I thought about him or looked at a picture or video of him. I would also constantly see 941, which is the time the first iPhone was released.
Wow.
Yeah, she was really connected with him and it was kind of cool. She had some cool.
You should tell him to share his ideas with you. You could continue his legacy.
Right? Steve.
Yeah.
Pass me the next big technology.
Exactly.
Be awesome.
Definitely.
Well, I think my favorite divination tools, definitely tarot. I use those quite a bit. I use those with my readings with clients. I use a regular deck of cards. You can use something like that as divination as well. And of course, astrology charts. I consider that an oracle as, too. So those are my favorites.
Definitely. I love the crystals. I brought my crystal ball just because.
Brought my rose quartz.
It's a tool. And I actually use this for readings. I talked about this last week, but you can see how there's all these beautiful inclusions in here. When I do a reading with this, I look at the inclusions and they form a picture. And this is one of my most treasured tools for readings. Sometimes, I like to have a vast array. I got my cards here. I'll have my ball. Just sometimes you need a little extra information, and I like to bounce back and forth. And
got all the tools.
Yes.
Same here. I usually have crystals nearby just for energetic purposes. Always have my cards, sometimes a pendulum. I'm not like attached to my pendulum, but I do use it from time to time.
Yes.
It's kind of day to day with this one. Like, I'm not sure. Some days I'm drawn to using it, some days I'm not, but
I used to use pendulums all the time, and then I got, working with my L rods, and that's just kind of become my pendulum. There was a funny story, and when I was taking my dowsing classes, there was this lady, and she had taken the class before, and she's like, I hope you brought extra L rods because mine, I lost it. And the teacher tuned in, and she's like, I think you're driving it crazy. And she's like, what do you mean? And she's like, do you ask it questions? She's like, oh, I ask it everything. And she's like, yeah, it's hiding from you.
it wants to be left alone.
It's a break.
Like, how rejecting is that when your tools like want to get the hell away from you? Like, how sad.
It wasn't me. I swear to God, it wasn't me.
This was a story about Rena's friend.
No, I didn't even know this lady. She was from a different town.
My friend.
I thought it was funny.
Yes, Cass loves pendulums and tarot. Yeah,
Awesome.
Cass is a natural with that stuff.
Awesome.
So I kind of skipped what we had planned, Rena. We were gonna do like some current events, what happened this week, and then go into our divinations.
Oh,
Start talking about Ouija boards, and
well, we can and still come back. I mean, we're different that way. That's what makes us so much fun.
We can't follow a script.
I stopped. I used to have notes, but Brandy likes to change things up. So I've had to learn to be flexible, which is really good for my earth sign energy.
I'm a bad influence. Yeah. I know. I don't know why I'm like that. Like,
it's okay.
I don't know. We stuck to what last week we said, hey, we're going to discuss Ouija boards. And look, we're here discussing it. So
we did good. I'm proud of us.
Yeah. All right. So what happened this week? Do we want to even talk about what's going to happen tomorrow?
Well, I think we better start with what happened this week.
Okay. Venus is retrograde.
Yes. Until the 29th, right?
Until the 29th. So we saw some celebrity divorces or separations. Did you see Lisa Bonet and Jason?
I did.
Yes.
Oh my God, that poor man better go in hiding and never come out, because all the single ladies are like, they're smelling him.
Yeah. Like, yes. So we saw that, totally a Venus retrograde. I mean, people get like divorced, separated all the time, but like just to have like a major one like that. What I found interesting today was Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox announced their engagement during a Venus retrograde. So
hard and fast, short-lived. Is that what you see? Typically,
and of course there's exceptions, I'm sure. Statistically speaking, most engagements that happen, yes, Sheila, yes, for sure. Sorry, I'm reading the comments while I'm talking. Statistically speaking, most couples who get engaged during a Venus retrograde or who meet during a Venus retrograde typically don't have permanent relationships or marriages.
Interesting.
Not like I follow these celebrities, but like I just saw that and I was like, uh-oh, guys, you obviously don't have astrologers on retainer.
Right, definitely. Maybe you need to start doing some advertising and just start, I don't know, if when next time you go to LA, start putting signs out on the car windows and stuff.
Might have to. Like, I know Kevin's saying, no way are you possibly saying that Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox won't last. I know. This is a huge news flash. Just my prediction. I don't wish that for them, but I'm just saying, not a great time to get engaged.
Definitely.
I would have thought those people of all people knew better. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. What do you do? Well, let them have fun, I guess. Maybe they'll wait until the next Venus retrograde to actually get married. And then it'll like 2 negatives equal a positive. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, it makes me want to do some research though. Like, okay, who has the success stories of getting engaged or meeting during a Venus retrograde? Like,
oh, yeah.
I
Because
want to hear this.
There's got to be some sort of natal aspects that actually succeed.
Maybe if you were born during a Venus retrograde, because these people, that are born during these retrogrades get a little bit of a break when it transits go retrograde. So maybe
it's more natural. They feel more in their element when things are all effed up.
Right.
Just kidding. Sorry, that was a terrible joke.
Do we have time to pull chart? No, I'm kidding. I'm sitting there. And Sheila's saying Bob Saget. Right?
Does anybody know what happened yet?
Okay, so they did autopsy.
Yeah.
No foul play, no apparent signs of drug use, but that it was still pending, with investigation. Apparently he was found kind of in a sleeping position with lights out. So he probably passed in his sleep. Like,
I wonder if it was like something weird, like an aneurysm or,
Well, I pulled the chart from when he died because the news was really good about timestamps and reporting on this. So we had a timestamp of when he last entered the hotel and these kind of things. There was definitely something in the astrology that I saw with restriction of the lungs or something that caused sudden respiratory failure, something like that. So I didn't know if it was like a pulmonary embolism or cardiac arrest maybe, but I saw something with the lungs and restriction. But I don't know. We don't know yet for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, totally weird.
Yeah.
And then we got Robert Durst passed away.
No consequences for that guy. He gets convicted and I'm just going to die.
I told you, Jesus is after him. He's not going to get... Sorry, guys. Oh, man. No.
And Ronnie Spector died yesterday. Like, broke my heart. Like, I just love her.
Yeah, that's terrible news. Lots of weird things. I mean, just this week.
It's a weird week. And then tomorrow, Mercury goes retrograde. So you got Venus and Mercury both retrograde tomorrow, starting tomorrow. So till the 29th until Venus goes stations, but and Mercury a little bit longer. But those are like our 2 closest planets that are retrograding. So you want to be really careful with communications. You want to be careful with relationship stuff. No sudden decisions, breakups, these kind of things, because there's definitely a gap in communication right now. It's a tough one. I think that's kind of...
Don't say things you don't mean, because people are really going to take it to heart now.
They will take it seriously, literally, or they will remember it the rest of their lives and you will hear about it. So it's best to just not be quick at the mouth, kind of take things slow. Venus, like I said, has been retrograde for a little bit. Oh my gosh, Rena, like the one thing you should not do during a Venus retrograde is cut your hair or get like a significant change in hairstyles. Do you know how many times I've been tempted to chop my hair off in the last like 2 weeks?
I saw somebody who dyed her hair. It's like rainbow bright yellow, and it is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm just like,
oh. Did you do it during the retrograde?
Yeah, she just did it. It's gorgeous.
Cool.
I hope she doesn't regret it later, but yeah, it's really pretty. And she's a natural, like brunette, like yours.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. A lot of times you can regret the decisions. And Sheila's saying, I was thinking of cutting my hair short again. I know, that's what Venus retrograde does. It makes you like, oh, I should change something drastic about my appearance.
To make myself look pretty.
Myself look better. Like, and I know. I'm like so superstitious. I won't even trim my hair. And my hair, it's like just it's a major need of a trimming, but I'm gonna wait.
I keep thinking about a tight perm. I want an afro. Bad. I can't stop with it's been on my mind for like at least a year. It's killing me. And it's long enough that I think
you could do it.
It'd be a really cool afro.
I didn't know you were thinking about this.
I know it's a terrible idea, but
I don't know. Like, see if you still want to do it after the 29th and then go for it.
Oh, I've been wanting to do it for over a year. Mark is
not. Okay, Carrie, our hair resident here, is saying, no, don't do that.
Why? I want it to be fluffy.
It'll fry your hair.
Yeah, who cares? I've shaved it before.
Oh man, one of these days everyone's gonna come on. You're gonna have this perm.
Now someday I'll have to do something. This is all natural. The glittery streaks are all natural.
Now, when I first knew you, you had the shorter hair and it was bleached in some area. Wasn't it different colors, like bleached?
Yeah, red, black, and bleached. Yep.
Yeah. That was really cute.
Yeah. I've had some cool hair.
My hair has been the same like forever. Like it got darker because, well, that's a long story. But I went to get my hair dye and they were out of my color. And the lady at Sally Beauty Supply is like, just mix it with this one step darker. It'll be fine this one time. And it was not. It was completely dark. And I had to just keep up with it after that. So.
Oh.
Jamie joined us. So she'll have to watch. She wanted to listen to this episode. She just now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we talked about Ouija boards and like.
Yep. And there's a good story in there. One of our regular viewers shared a story with us, and it's pretty creepy.
Okay, Jamie's hair. Yeah, we're talking about hair because of the Venus retrograde, how it makes you want to like sometimes do something drastic, but yeah. She's saying she went all natural. She's 34, salt and pepper. I kind of want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but I'm
thinking. Like when the first one popped up, I was like, oh my God, do I pull it out? What do I do? But I mean, I see so many people that have the beautiful salt and peppery. I hope that I get that too. So I'm kind of waiting for it to just go beautiful on its own. We'll see.
Mine would be like salt and not pepper, but like mousy brown. What is that? Like salt and cumin? Like it would
like this color, Brandy. Like this is my natural.
Oh, that's pretty. It's got like a strawberry color to it. Mine is like the Ouija board game we were looking at. That's what it would look. I'd have a Ouija board there. But I have thought about it. I'm just tired of doing it, Jamie got her mom to do it also. Interesting. Carrie, what's your thoughts? I want to hear Carrie weigh in on this.
Yeah, Carrie, tell us what we should do.
Jamie gets compliments on it. I bet. Jamie, I've seen your pictures. It's beautiful. The way you're like, it's perfect. I know. The fact that I'm discussing it during a Venus retrograde makes me think I probably won't do it anytime soon, but we'll see. I am entertaining it.
It's okay to think about. Yep, it's good stuff. It is.
I got cards tonight, guys, and Rena has cards. So what are the rules for tonight's readings?
Okay. So I want you guys to ask questions, but I'm looking for some unique questions, like not your typical, let's say anything beyond work or romance.
So what are some example questions? What is there besides work and romance? There's I'm trying to think. Give us an example.
Are there really aliens? Okay, Margie, can I just be real with you here? And I'm not trying to sound like a meanie, but we are just one planet in a vast universe. You can't tell me that we're the only ones. Plus, have you seen what squids look like? You watch Shark Week?
Like, I've never seen an alien, but I'm sure they're out there. Like,
oh, I'm pretty sure they visit us often and walk among us. Absolutely. But like in all seriousness, there's no way that Earth is the only planet that has life, which, you know, would make anything beyond Earth alien-like, right?
yeah. All right. I like Carrie's question. How much longer is Corona going to be affecting us so drastically as it is now?
God, these are good questions, you guys. I like this.
What we got?
I do have a theory though.
About Corona or alien?
Yeah. Yep. I do feel like once it's under control to some sort, whatever that looks like, because I don't know what that looks like, that it will be like the influenza. I just have a feeling it's going to be like this seasonal thing. You'll have your seasonal vaccines for it. I don't know. That's just kind of what I feel.
I'm thinking, I said guessing, I'm not guessing. I'm actually tuning in using some cards here, but I just got to see what year this is. Yeah. And that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm getting that we've been through the worst of it as far as deaths and things like that are concerned. I still think we'll get variants that'll, like we're dealing with now, like the Omicron, like where it's bad, it's everywhere, but less people are dying thanks to vaccinations and whatever. I know, don't send me hate mail, but I'm vaxxed. And but anyways, I'm getting when Pluto goes into Aquarius is when we'll get, you know, like maybe it'll go to like some kind of strain like the flu, like very more mild and minor. For some reason, I feel like Pluto has to move into Aquarius, and that's 2025. So,
oh Jesus, Brandy,
I know.
Not enough.
But we've been through the worst. Like, we're just going to be kind of dealing with the more, you know, it's going to continue to decrease and as in severity. And
yeah,
I know. I mean, I'd like it.
Maybe 2025 is when there will be some more normalcy with it. Does that make sense? Like, I don't mean that.
I get this sense because when you get Pluto going into a sign like Aquarius, which is innovative, it's inventions, it's sure. We get a lot of advances in medicine when these planets, not like Pluto, but you know, because it's Pluto transits are every couple hundred years, but yeah. When any of these major planets go into Aquarius, so it makes me think we might medically get on top of it somehow.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I don't know what that looks like, but
yeah, it does make sense. It does. I do really feel like it's going to continue to get better though, seriously. And I do really feel like it's going to be like the seasonal thing, you know. And I don't mean that because I mean influenza sucks. It's really detrimental to a lot of people, but
we don't close down over it, right? Like we don't.
Right. There are things we can do, whether it's taking good care of ourselves and, you know, learning to stay home when you're sick, I think is huge for people. Being smart about where you travel, where you're spending time, you know. Listen to me. Don't go on a cruise ship. I don't think it's a smart idea.
It's never a good idea. Like, I gotta tell you, I've never been on a cruise and I've never wanted to, just because before COVID, you would hear these stories about like
Yes.
norovirus or like the gastric flus like spreading like wildfire. Like that just freaks me out. Like
Exactly.
oh yeah. So yeah, I think we're stuck with it for a little bit, but yeah, I think we've been through the worst and I think it'll get less severe. And I think we'll have either some kind of breakthrough or it'll burn into something mild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Carrie
that.
says she thinks masks will be a new normal. I know this is not going to be popular. I hope masks are a new normal because I feel so much better. I'm a little bit of a germaphobe anyway. I always have been. Like I love being able to go to a store, wear a mask and it not be like too weird because like I don't want to get the cold. I don't want to get a flu.
Hey, absolutely.
Bugs. So like to me, I love wearing a mask in public.
Absolutely. I would be okay with that. I mean, seriously, again, that's your own personal choice there.
Yep.
I don't like getting sick either.
But it's nice that it's normalized, you know? So, I mean, kind of like it depends what area of Texas I'm in. We visited Oklahoma. Oh my God, I'm like, sorry, I'm calling out Oklahoma, but I visited a different state a few weeks ago and I was wearing my mask everywhere. Like when I walked into a restaurant and I mean, man, I got some stares and it was like,
oh yeah. And that makes me sad that I really don't think we should hold judgment on anybody for that kind of stuff. I mean, what if you were the person who like literally had no immune system? I mean, how many people are out there are elderly folks, are people who are battling cancer or something, anything of that sort, who literally have to take everything so seriously that I just don't feel like they should be looked at like that either, you know?
yeah. I like Carrie's point too. She likes wearing a mask in a store because no one recognizes her and she doesn't have to talk to anyone. I love that too. And I can also sing along with the music. No one knows it's coming from me.
It's a good poker face. It really is. I get my shades on.
And if like, I'm sorry, like if you don't want to, for me, I sound so shallow saying this. I will not leave the house without full makeup. So it's like, if I don't have my full makeup, I just put that mask on and I just feel like it's okay.
You are too funny.
I know. I'm not proud of it. It's just the way I am.
I'm the lady that leaves the house with no bra in full pajamas. You can see my fuzzy slippers and my hair looks like hell. And I got my sunglasses.
So liberating. I love it. I wish like someday. Like I can have no makeup on and I still look both ways by like walking to my driveway to go grab the trash can that we put out for trash day. I'm like, okay, is anybody out here? Like I'm so uptight.
That's funny.
All right. Jamie wants a card for the year through a collective viewpoint. I like that.
Ooh, let's both draw one for that.
Ooh.
Yeah. See, Jamie, you're my people. You're a Taurus, aren't you?
Yes. I'm a Taurus rising. I'm part of the Taurus club, like in a way.
Yeah, but you're a Gemini and Prince was a Gemini and he never left the house when he wasn't pretty either. So I think that's a Gemini. Like, you guys are flirty. You have to be pretty.
I know. I did get accused of that. I think I'm just friendly and I think
yeah, I know.
So misunderstood.
I bite.
I'm friendly and I smile and I just try to be nice and people say, oh, you're flirting like that. Geminis are just misunderstood.
There you go.
Although I do think Prince was flirty. Like,
oh yeah. Of course he was. Okay.
I want to know what card you got. Should we have a sidebar and see what card we got?
Ooh. Okay. I got the Prince of Wands.
You got the Prince of Wands. Okay. I got Judgment.
Ooh, interesting.
That is interesting. I feel like I need another card though. Like I'm not feeling closure. So I'm going to pull one more card. I know Jamie said a card.
I like to pull 3 and then flip over the bottom of the deck. So why don't I do that?
Okay. Oh, I like this. I'm going to flip over my deck too. Okay. I'm liking the message because I had a good vibe about 2022. And then, Betty White died on New Year's Eve. And then we've seen all this stuff happen.
Did you lose it? Did you? Because I didn't. I'm balls to the wall and I'm ready to go.
What were you asking?
Did you lose your spunk for 2022?
I did not, but I was kind of like, okay, am I being over optimistic? I kind of was trying to reassess. I was a little hesitant on being as optimistic because I was feeling optimistic, but I still think it's going to be a great year,
Yeah.
So what do you have? Should we reveal our cards or the message?
Well, it's probably just easier for me to tell the message. I keep getting that, this is really the year to make the changes that you want to see happen. And it's all about dreaming big and going for it. Just dream big, start putting your plans in motion, no matter how small these look like. It can be even just starting with making lists or, just taking those small steps. But anything you want to do this year, this is your year to make it happen. I really, really feel that.
I feel that.
Sorry. Prince of Wands.
Okay.
Ace of Swords. Prince of Discs.
Oh.
And then my clarification is death, which doesn't mean it doesn't mean what everybody thinks it means.
I don't know. We've had a lot of death lately. It might. I'm kidding.
Yeah, definitely. It might possibly, but I can't say for sure because I don't do that.
I don't predict death.
Right.
I've only gotten a few premonitions about maybe 3 deaths in my life, and I keep it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I interrupting or are you finished? I'm sorry, Rena.
No, I'm done.
I'm just going to do the message first. So this is what I love. And this is what I've been waiting for because I feel like people have been divided lately. I haven't been perfect. I've been kind of, on a side of arguments and stuff too. But what I want to see is people coming together, coming back to loving each other, looking out for each other, just having non-judgment, just being good to each other in general. And I think we're going to get that because I drew Judgment, I drew the Queen of Hearts, and I got 2 of Cups here. And my bottom card on the deck, the Emperor.
Nice.
So this gives me a hopeful, hi Robert. This gives me a hopeful vibe that hey, maybe humans are going to be a smidge more decent this year. I hope so. I'm ready for that, including me. I'm going to make an effort. My effort is to do nice things for people. That's kind of what I'm going in with this year. So
awesome.
Yes.
Well, I really like it. I do. And I'm always all about work. So I'm sure that's why my message came out as, yes, let's make changes.
I'm always I just love people. Can people not can we just be cool and
please
not aggravate each other anymore?
Yeah, definitely.
Don't start a fight in the grocery store.
Please. What other questions do we got? You guys got to have some interesting questions for us. These were super fun.
Yeah, see how fun it is when you ask these different types of questions. I want the most oddball questions or outside the box type questions. That's what I'm going for here.
Yes.
All right, let's see what we got. So Jamie had a good idea. We answered Carrie's or gave our insight. All right, Robert, you're watching. Don't you have a question for the cards? I know, I talked to Robert earlier. All right, I'm gonna have to draw for Rena.
Yes, please do.
Okay. Do you have a question, Rena?
Kind of. Well, like I really want to share and teach this year. That's kind of, I've been wanting to do it, and I feel like this is my year to do it. So I'm kind of challenging myself to step out of the box, and I got some really neat ideas coming up, but I'm wondering if there's a theme after these two that I'm going to teach so far. So we got the Muladhara, and we got the quantum alignment. Where should I head after that? Is there
a theme or subject, or
is there some theme or subject that appears that needs to be shared? Robert wants to know what the subject matter is. We're pulling tarot cards, but we're looking for things outside of love or work, like some neat, fun questions.
Okay, I get a couple different things, so I can't give you just one. So I will give you what I see. Manifesting, and I know that's kind of a general term, but this could even be over like abundance, or we have a key that works really well with that.
Yeah, we do.
Not we, you do. Sorry, I just like made it about me. I just dropped my card. Okay, card jumped out for you. Hold on. I love how that worked. Okay. And this is a good one too. I'm trying to put it in words, but basically teaching how to let go of things that no longer serve, when to recognize when people or things are no longer good for you, how to clean your space, but not a physical space.
Gotcha. Nice.
I gotta get my cards now.
I like it. I do.
So I don't think it'll be just like one theme. I think it's going to be a lot of diverse material.
Yep. And that's exactly, well, that's definitely a message I was receiving today. Like it'll be like quantum alignment 2.0. So we're going to have this piece, and then we're going to start breaking down some of the bigger pieces and bringing them into play. So,
I like that.
Yeah. Are we still on a spiritual awakening after the pandemic has been established? I have felt the openness worked on myself, and feeling that it's time to go back to readings and working on my own abilities. It does make sense, Jamie. And that goes back to kind of what I was receiving. This is like my year where I'm going back to my foundations, and I'm building on those. So I'm going back to my structure and starting to share some new things outside of working on that. And I kind of had the same thing as you. Like, it was like, okay, it is time for me to like get back into the swing of things and start offering these things that I had done before. And so do it. That makes perfect sense.
I would like to interject also and say yes, yes, yes. And here's why. Because we just had Jupiter go into the sign of Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter traditionally. And then we have Neptune in Pisces, and it's been there. So we have both of Pisces, a traditional ruler and modern ruler, in its home sign. Pisces is healing. It's working with the mysterious. It's working on ourselves subconsciously. So absolutely, we are headed into that time this year. And so I think a lot of us are kind of getting back into that and feeling drawn back to it. I mean, Jupiter is it's a lot of things. It's our expansion. It's our learning. It's our wisdom. It's our place with the social collective. And we had it in Aquarius, which is kind of a dry, disconnected sign. Also a good sign for, other things like humanitarian efforts, for, kind of like maybe expansion in unconventional ways, these kind of things. But these planets are now in Pisces, and it's kind of back to just the psychic stuff, to the healing, to the feel goods. So I hope that makes sense.
So And this is interesting. I don't know how many people have actually thought about this, but corona means crown. Okay, so crown chakra. What if the last couple years were about stopping in your tracks, looking at yourself, having to actually face the stuff you needed to deal with? Because I mean, we were all locked in our houses for how long? Like having to put up with our own poop and having to make choices to suit our better needs because of that, and figuring out the pieces that we needed to let go of in order for us to better ourselves and grow, and now it's like, oh God, the weight has been lifted, let's do this. I don't know.
Absolutely. Eileen's saying she needs to get back in touch with her gift. She's felt out of touch this past year. Yeah, for sure. I think we all have. I mean,
yeah.
Gosh, the last year I had times where I only offered certain readings, or, my schedule was a little bit more restricted. Now I'm like, hey, let's do this again. This is fun. I'm like feeling like, drawn back to it. So you will too, Eileen.
Yeah. Carrie says, I do think that is the good to come out of this. A lot of people have done a lot of self-work. I absolutely. Even if it was just something like adopting a shelter pet and reconnecting with this sweet little love, for Mother Earth's creatures. I mean, there's just so many good things that really have come from this.
Yeah. Jessica's here. She has an astrology question. Yes. I love astrology questions. Okay. Everyone keeps talking about the US and Pluto return. Any thoughts? I have a lot of thoughts. We're supposed to do a show on this.
This is, okay, so last week you said 2 to 3 weeks. So maybe next week we'll cover this. We'll see.
Yes, but I do have a lot of thoughts, and just a little sneak peek. So a lot of countries and democracies a lot of times don't make it through a Pluto return. Like the country, they just don't last as long. We have some long lasting countries like England, for instance, who have been through, I think 3.
Wow.
Almost 4, at least 3 Pluto returns. And that's when, like, the first one is when Robert the Bruce took Scotland, or was, took over the reign of Scotland. Another one is when they had their first independent queen who wasn't married. So you can see how these kind of things change the countries up. There's major changes, at least, that happen if they survive it. So yeah, I do have some thoughts about what we're looking at. And so I promise we'll have a show on it soon. Yes. Yeah, it's a big deal. We are in a Pluto return. It's going to peak. I'm trying to figure out how much I should give out. 2023 is a big year, especially October of 2023. So Pluto, it goes retrograde every year, but in October of 2023, it's going to station. It'll be in a retrograde and then it's going to station, meaning it's not moving. It's kind of, planets are tough when they station because they're not going backwards or forwards. And so it's kind of a stagnant energy, and it's going to do that exactly on the degree of US's Pluto. So
oh, I bet I can think about what's probably going to happen during that time period, but I'll just be quiet for a little bit.
We'll just say that Biden and Kamala have some things going on around the same time. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too.
Yep. It's interesting. And I haven't even put this out here. This has just been my thoughts, like, that have been going through my brain the last year when I look at it. So I am going to, like, hunker down and really get my thoughts together, and we'll do a show.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be a really interesting show. Okay, guys, somebody's got to have a question for us. We maybe got time for 1 or 2 more card reads.
Oh my gosh, it's already like 8:20 Central Time.
It's almost Brandy's bedtime. We got to hurry up. So throw them out there quick.
Rena thinks she's being funny, but, like, it's true. I go to bed.
Okay, so I'm terrible. I'll stay up till like 12, sometimes 1, and then I'll get up at like 7 in the morning. I want my coffee, and then by 1, I want a nap.
Like sometimes I am laying in bed at like 6:30 and Rena's messaging me, okay, here's what I want to work on today, or can you proofread this? And I'm like, I'm laying in bed, and then I get up and I have my coffee and I'm ready to start talking to Rena, and I'm messaging her, and it's like crickets for hours.
Because she's taking a nap.
Because Rena went back to bed. So.
Yeah. I'm ridiculous. Words of encouragement.
I love words of encouragement. I love those.
I want you guys to show up every week with these kind of questions. These are so much fun.
Jamie wakes up at 4:30 so she can get work at 7.
That's a Taurus thing. We got to think about it. We got to have coffee. We got to prepare.
I used to be really good like that. Now I'm like, I need my sleep. And now I'm only getting up like an hour and 45 minutes early.
Oh, I guess that's one of the cards.
So good job, Jamie. All right. Are we doing cards of encouragement for everybody or for Robert? I got confused.
I don't know. Maybe we should do them for everybody.
I think we should for everybody.
Oh, I am not a snooze person. That's something else you should know about me. The alarm goes off one time and I am out of bed. When Mark presses snooze 85 times, he is in deep trouble. I am screaming.
Here's my story about snooze. I used to never hit snooze because it backfires on you, right? But then, how many years ago was this? 5 years ago or so, I made my alarm song Time on Your Side by the Stones. So when that song goes off, it's just a very chill song about time being on your side. I hit that snooze like 10 times now before I get out of bed. And I blame the Rolling Stones for that one.
That's too funny.
Yeah, because I feel like, okay, time's on my side. Like I can rest. It really does like mess with you. Okay. Do you want to go with your encouragement first?
I got a couple possibilities. Love, embrace.
Was that the message? I'm sorry. Were you?
Oh yes, that's totally my like message.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I did not mean that the way it sounded. I'm sorry. Mercury is stationed. Okay. It's going retrograde tomorrow. Is not what I'm at.
It's okay to laugh, everybody. Yes, definitely. Those are possibilities. Again, that's totally a theme that's always coming up for me. Embrace yourself, celebrate all your gifts, and connect with the people you love, friends, family, spend time with them, celebrate that.
I'm not laughing at your message.
You are too.
I am not. I'm such a jerk. I look like such a jerk right now. No, I'm not. I don't even know my message. I'm so like.
Okay. Brandy has to redraw. She's got to refocus her attention.
Okay. My cards. I don't know why it's so funny. I don't know. Anyway, this is hard. I'll apologize afterwards. I'm sorry, Rena.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I know that was really short and sweet. I must have thought those were like just pretty self-explanatory.
I was waiting for a sermon. I was like, wait a minute. Like I need more explanation. My mind, yeah. Anyway.
What do you mean possibilities, love, and embrace? What the hell am I supposed to do with that?
No, I'm sorry. My message: money, abundance, and mystery.
Oh, bring it to me. I'm excited.
And I'll say this, I got this reversed, and I love it when this card is reversed. It means the worst is behind you. So any of us who've had, we've all had, it's a challenging world. I can't even say we've all had challenges the past year, but worst is behind us, I think.
My Capricorn friend understands me.
I know words. I like literal. I took that as like metaphoric words. Like share a few words about. I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's
this is my public apology. This is my press conference. I would like to apologize for my shitty behavior on episode number, whatever, Ouija boards and psychic tools.
No, you're totally good. It's all good. They all knew what I meant.
I'm over here like, I don't get it. Like, sorry.
Yet she pulls a card and her word of encouragement is mystery. Dying over here.
Well, it is. I got the High Priestess.
This is my weekly therapy. We laugh and laugh and laugh.
We do. So that's my word of encouragement, mystery.
Jamie says that's the Gemini in you. Blame the Gemini.
You know, thank you. Like, I know you guys are probably being funny, but that's a real thing. You guys, you don't know the struggle.
That was fun. That was a good one.
That was fun. All right. So next week, what's our subject next week? I need a couple weeks to work on the US chart, so that's coming. But what about next week?
I don't know. Robert, such a grounded Capricorn. This is the message. That is all.
I know. Rena knows I have to be entertained. Like, come on.
And it entertains me right back.
All right.
What happens to money? What? Like paper money, coins, that kind of, is that what we're talking about?
Currency?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I do have a theory.
What's your theory, Rena?
Well, I mean, I know people are freaking out about actual currency, paper money, coins, things like that anyway. But how many of us use a debit card, a credit card, PayPal, Bitcoin? Come on now. We're already in it.
I was just talking about this yesterday because I have this amazing wine jug. It's this glass wine jug. My grandpa, I just loved him to pieces. He thought it was a good jug to put coins in because like the opening was the perfect, size. And he's like, I'm going to drink this so that you can have this to put coins in, so he did me an awesome favor and like drank this wine so he could give me this thing. So anyway, I still have it. He passed away like, how long ago? 16 years ago. But anyway, I got it out because I was like, I'm gonna put all my coins in here, like Papa told me to do. This is gonna be cool. And then like I had to find all these coins, and I was like, oh my gosh, since like the pandemic, I haven't been using cash because cash is so dirty. I like tried to avoid it. Use my card, and yeah, so that's kind of, is that what you're saying? Like it's kind of transitioning to where
that's what I think.
Cashless, right?
That's what I think. I mean, I know there's so many people who are so worried about the actual value and, I mean, we're talking Fort Knox stuff, right? But in all actuality, how many of us use debit, credit, PayPal, all of those methods? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Margie wanted to clarify. She thought I said money instead of mystery.
Oh.
But just so you know our thoughts on currency.
Oh. I don't know. Maybe somebody needed us to talk about money.
Yeah. Jamie wants to know if we talked about Mercury retrograde a little bit. So it goes retrograde tomorrow at like 5. Rena, I gave you the time. What did I say? 5:41 a.m., something like that.
Yep.
By 6 a.m. Central Time, it'll be retrograde. But yeah, so it's also going to be Venus is still retrograde. So we want to be really careful in our communication, especially with our loved ones, especially with people, like anyone we have any type of relationship with, not just romantic, but working relationships. Like me and Rena have to be careful. We're already seeing what happens there. Like, you know,
I didn't take it personally though, really. So it's all good.
I will sleep over it. It'll be 2 a.m. and I'll be like, oh my God, I said that to Rena. I'm like,
no, because I'm totally laughing at it too. It's all good.
I will feel bad about, yeah. So I'll have to send Rena a present in the mail just to.
Oh, jeez.
So you want to be careful right now, especially, but usual retrograde stuff. Oh, she's talking about for next week. Yeah. Yeah, we could talk about that.
We could also have our Aquarius show.
Yeah. Aquarius season?
Yeah. Because let's see, next Thursday will be what, the 22nd?
It'll be the start. So we could do that.
Yeah. We could mix retrograde and Aquarius, because to me, Aquarians feel like retrograde anyway. I'm just saying that because my husband's an Aquarius. I was going to say my husband.
We have him on the show as a special guest to ask an Aquarius. Like,
oh,
question you want to ask an Aquarius? Like, do we have to pay him? Like, what would it take to get him as a guest spot?
Mark? What would it take to get Mark?
Oh,
I don't know. We'll have to see what football game's on next Thursday first.
Oh, okay.
I'll ask him. I'll see what I can do.
If not, we'll just answer for him.
Oh, yeah. I do all the time anyways, so I already know what he's going to say. No, just kidding.
I don't have any Aquarians in my life, like in my family. I had a dog who was an Aquarius, Willie Bear. And I mean, that damn dog would not stay in the yard. He busted out of the fence. He always wanted to roam. He was a true Aquarius. Very aloof.
Yeah, I always tease Mark. I tell him he's the breeze. I just call him the breeze because he keeps blowing on the road. Blowing down the road.
Okay. Oh yeah, Jamie's an Aquarius moon. Okay, so we'll do Aquarius season.
Yeah.
So Robert, you don't have any Aquarius placements. You will have a house in Aquarius, so, and it'll have a ruler, Saturn, and modernly Uranus in the chart. So Aquarius is active in everybody's chart in some area of their life.
Yep.
We'll have to look at your chart. All right. Well, Rena, shall we sign off?
We should.
All right. It's been super fun. Thank you, everybody. See you next Thursday. We'll talk about Aquarius season.
Sounds fun.
Yep, that's all I got. So we will see you next time.
All right. Take it easy. See you next Thursday.